Then we get to example 4, which is evaluating functions. This is stuff you would have done in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 to start. To find g of 3, just to remind you what that means. Finding g of 3 is if we take our function, which is negative x squared plus 4x minus 5, and we replace the x's with a 3. Now that minus sign is out in front of the x, is not being affected by the exponent. So when we take negative 3 squared like that, we are only going to square the 3, but the answer to that part is going to remain negative. So plus 4 times, and then plug a 3 in there, and then minus 5. So again, that would be 3 squared, which is 9, but the negative is not squared, so negative 9 plus 12 minus 5. Negative 9 plus 12 is 3. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So g of 3 would equal negative 2. Part B, it says g of a. That simply means that we're going to replace each one of the x's with an a. So I would have negative a squared plus 4 times a minus 5. So g of a, since there's nothing to simplify, would actually equal negative a squared plus 4a minus 5. Part C gets a little bit more interesting because now we're going to replace x plus h in for each one of the x's. So what that's going to look like will be negative x plus h squared plus 4 times x plus h minus 5. And how do you square a binomial? Remember, it is going to be, that minus sign is still out there, the negative is still out there, so it's going to be square of the first term, so it's going to be x squared, 2 times the two terms together, so times 2xh, plus the last term squared, so h squared. And then we will distribute the 4 into the x plus h in the second set of terms there, so that would be plus 4x plus 4h minus 5. And then after moving the negative sign into the parentheses, so negative x squared minus 2xh minus h squared minus 4x minus 4h minus 5. And that is actually the answer. That is it. There's no other like terms. Using x plus h is actually some of your first steps into real calculus. You're going to see x plus h pop up quite a bit in the next few months. And then part D, very similar to the other ones. We're going to replace each of the x's with 2 over r. So that'll be negative 2 over r squared plus 4 times 2 over r minus 5. And 2 over r squared is going to be 4 over r squared, still negative. That negative is not affected by the exponent. Plus 4 times 2 over r, that's going to be 8 over r minus 5. And I'm good enough to leave it like that, already simplified. Part E is phrased just a little bit different. Part E says, find all values of x such that g of x equals negative 12. So we're not replacing the x with negative 12, we're replacing g of x with negative 12. And what that means is we'll have this. We'll have negative 12 equals negative x squared plus 4x minus 5. And then we're solving that equation. So it is a quadratic equation, which means we should set it equal to 0. So I'll go ahead and add 12 to both sides. So that gives me 0 equals negative x squared plus 4x plus 7. And then we can try to factor it, but it won't take you very long to figure out that you actually can't factor it. So if we can't factor it, what do? Well, we've got our good friend, the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. No, I'm not going to sing it for YouTube. So we will have negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is negative 1, times c, which is 7, all over 2 times negative 1. So that'll be negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16. And negative 4 times negative 1 times 7 is positive 28. All over negative 2, which is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 44 over negative 2. And square root of 44, so the square root of 44, if I go off to the side here, that's the same as the square root of 4 times the square root of 11, or 2, make that a little bit neater, 2 square root of 11. So if I replace the square root of 44 with 2 square root of 11 over negative 2, and then I can divide both the coefficients of the top term both by negative 2, which means it'll give me positive 2 plus or minus just the square root of 11. And that's all the values on that one. And then if you had to maybe round it to the nearest tenth or the hundredth, you would actually just type in the square root of 11 on the calculator, take that decimal answer away from 2, and add it to 2 to get 2 separate answers. And then finally, example 6, delivery charges. This is called a step function. And you'll see why it's called a step function to remind you what a step function is. It says that an overnight delivery service charges $25 for a package weighing up to 2 pounds. For each additional pound or portion thereof, there is an additional charge of $3. Let d of x represent the cost to send the package in weighing x pounds. Graph d of x for x in the interval from 0 to 6. So d of x represents the cost, so that I've got price actually on the y-axis. The weight is the x-axis. So anything between 0 and 2 pounds, as it says in there, from package weighing up to 2 pounds is $25. I'm going to graph a straight line from 0 to 2 up to 25. I'm going to have an open circle here because this would represent, whoop, that's wrong. Open circle here, as we would not send a package weighing 0 pounds. That would just not be possible. And then we will run a straight line, a horizontal line, from there to 2 pounds. Let's do that a little bit better. I don't want to erase that. One more time. So a horizontal line from 0 to 2 pounds, and that should be horizontal right on the, all right, I'm just going to draw it. I am having issues. There we go. That's pretty straight anyway. Okay, so when we're going to use a dot on this side, the dot represents up to 2 pounds. 2 pounds is included in the $25 price. How much would a 2 to 3 pound package cost? A 2 to 3 pound package would cost an extra $3 or $28. So we will do an open circle from $2 to $3 or 2 to 3 pounds at $28. And then close circle there. And then we'll continue that same pattern for $3 to $4. That would be a $31, or 3 to 4 pounds. That would be a $31 package. So again, open circle above the closed circle there and closed circle here. And then from 4 to 5 pounds would be $34. So that should be a little bit below the 35. And then $37 for 5 to 6. And then that's as far as we go. That's probably a little bit high. Should be more down to here. From 5 to 6 pounds, that would be $37. And since we're only graphing from the interval 0 to 6, we are done on that one.